Welcome to the Nightly Rant. I'm Mike.
And I'm Toria.
This is the show where we talk about the awful things that have happened in our day, the awesome things that have happened in our day,
and all the things in between.
Thanks for listening, and we truly hope you enjoy. So what is small, furry in one part, skin in another part, has a long tail, kind of looks like a rat but isn't a rat, has rings around its tail, walks really slow and has sharp claws, and sometimes is named Pete?
Opossum?
Yes.
O-Pete. O-Pete the opossum.
Opossum. So what? Why do I mention this?
Well, I have to point out your inconsistency first.
There's no inconsistency.
Opossums are always named O-Pete.
No, they could be called Pete because their name could just be Possum.
They're always opossums.
No, they're not always opossums.
The ones here are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
I know my marsupials.
You're a marsupial. Now, back to the argument at hand.
Why do you bring this up? Because you're a lunatic.
No,
why did you actually bring it up?
I show up to pick Mitchell and Alyssa up for school this morning.
Did you?
And as soon as I walk in the door, I look to my right and I can see in the kitchen
colossal mess.
There's like a giant mess on the floor. And Mitchell and Alyssa are like in shock. They have no idea what to do. And they're saying, Dad, I've got a story to tell you. It's really funny. And I thought, oh God, what trouble did they get into?
Who killed who this time?
And so he starts telling the story that Alyssa was watching television with her mom. They were with their mom last night. She was watching television with her mom. And she was putting like the recliner part of the chair out. And her mom was sitting there putting like lotion on her leg or something. And her foot was down. And she was like, started screaming and saying something had licked her foot. And that she saw a tail go under the couch.
Yes, you heard him correctly.
Licked her foot. Funny, okay? Anyway. So then... she was screaming, for my oldest, and he apparently comes and is laughing, and, the youngest, Mitchell, he's hiding out. He's not even.
He wanted no part of this.
Yeah, he doesn't even want it. He even said, I wasn't coming unless they called my name. So, they called his name. And he went out there, and his mom was running around, jumping from couch to couch, screaming about a possum that she saw, and telling them how it must be playing dead and hanging on for dear life to the bottom of the couch. So the neighbor kid was there, and he helped them pick the couch up and see that there's nothing underneath the couch, both couches.
Poor O-Pete.
So then the kids started teasing her, saying, do we need to take you to the hospital and have you checked out? Something going on with your brain? Did you have, are you getting Alzheimer's? Like, what's going on, And they were giving her a hard time, which is funny. Then they all went to bed. And apparently, we found out later, when she got up this morning, she just shot out. She didn't go anywhere but from her bedroom, down the stairs, out of the house, into the car, gone. Okay? So, the kids wake up to go to school, and the kitchen is a disaster area. There's potato chips that have been tipped between two trash cans.
And munched on.
There's like a hot sauce bottle that has shattered to the ground.
Yeah, the top and bottom blew up off of it.
There's a plant laying on the ground. There's mugs and water things, which, by the way, I was a little annoyed that I asked the kids, were those cups on the counter? And they said yes. Then the story changed to they were in the cabinet and got knocked out. So I was a little annoyed by that, but whatever. Doesn't really have a major change in the story, so it's okay. The things were on the ground and they didn't break, so the point would be if they fell on the ground from the counter or from the cabinet. They fell on the ground. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
Well, then she had asked me to take the screen out so that if the thing wanted to get out, it could. And I'm pretty sure that it did leave, by the way, because I put the screen in a certain way so that it would stay there and not fall.
Right.
And I even touched it to see if it would go. You'd have to really grab it and knock it. Well, it was sitting in the kitchen sink when they got home.
Yeah.
So I think that the little demon knocked the thing down. Because then they also found poop in the tub. And then remember what was her funny comment?
At least it's potty trained. You left out the best part of the story.
Did I? Maybe I did that on purpose to see if you were awake. Maybe I'm just stupid and forgot it. Or maybe I did it on purpose to see if you were awake. Or maybe I just did it on purpose because I was trying to avoid it. Well, I don't know. You pick. I don't know. You pick.
I think that you're a fascist, and you forgot about it. But the text message you got when we were at Taco Bell this morning, wherein she asked us to bring Yogi.
Let me read it.
Come over.
Let me read it because the text, it doesn't stick in my head, but it's only funny when it's the actual text. Because this is quite honestly serious, dead serious, not kidding here. The funniest text I've ever gotten from her. Ever. After she had called to ask, could we go check?
Yes.
For Pete, the Possum, the opossum. See how I covered all four for you?
Yeah, I guess.
Since we got to that point to go look for him, I said yes, and we were having breakfast with Mitchell before taking him to school.
Okay.
And we get the text. Can you bring Yogi? Maybe he can sniff it out.
I don't know.
I thought it was funny because, first of all, Yogi's more of a hearing-seeing kind of a dog. It's Odie. That's the snifferoonie. That's right.
Yeah, she's never met Odie. I've clarified our disagreement from the beginning of the podcast.
Have you now?
American possums are actually called opossums.
Uh-huh.
For some reason, they are commonly referred to as possums.
Uh-huh.
But possums themselves are only in Australia, and they look quite different. But both are marsupials, so they're related.
Thank you.
Do you want to see the difference?
So, are you saying... Wait a second.
This is Pete.
Are you saying that I actually wasn't wrong?
This is Pete.
Are you saying I wasn't wrong?
No.
Yes, you are. You're saying that it's commonly an opossum is commonly called what? A possum.
But it's wrong.
So the word that I'm using is what's commonly used, and that's all.
Well,
I give
if
a
you
crap
want to be
about.
commonly wrong with
I
everybody
want to
else,
be common.
This
just
is
like everyone
Pete.
else. I want to be in the common club on this issue.
This is Pete.
He's kind of ugly and cute at the same time.
This is O Pete.
He's really ugly.
Yeah, he is.
The other one was kind of ugly and cute. That one was just ugly. Oof. Anyway, so the saga does continue, though, because they have not found said possum, and they can only assume that said possum has left. Now, I had to make Mitchell laugh and tell him a joke, and gosh, for once you guys didn't call my damn joke a dad joke.
Well, I did.
That's awesome, which, by the way, I'm working on a dad joke episode. It's going to be 99.9% me and 0.1% Yogi. I mean, Toria. My bad.
No, I'm not going to be there.
That might be good. We'll see. Then we'll have the new podcast, Dad Joke Podcast.
Fascist cast.
That'd be kind of a funny podcast, though. Tell one dad joke, and then take it to the man on the street. Take it to the man on the street and ask him what he thinks about the joke.
Oh,
and just get interview after interview after interview after interview. The problem with that kind of show, you either need like inexpensive helper to go do it for you,
yeah,
or it's going to take up all your time. Because all you'd be doing is going out and interviewing people. Look, here's a funny dad joke. Blah, blah, blah. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? That's all you would do.
You'd have to do it in a shopping mall.
Yep. Good idea. Get started on that.
No.
I still want to do that It's Debatable show, where you have a moderator and some people who are debating.
You got lots of people who wanted to debate.
But nobody that wants to be the...
We got one.
host.
That
We
dude.
need a host,
The
man.
thing.
Info at Yogi's Podcast Network.com or yogispodcastnetwork.com/feedback. Get it done. Come on, we need a host.
The host.
We need to expand the network's power and authority and reach. Most definitely the reach. Anyway, so that's the story of Pete the Possum from today. He was funny.
He just likes to be wrong.
He invoked some funny stuff.
Oh, Pete, the opossum.
Pete the Possum really is one funny dude. He really is. Now, I have a question for you, though.
Do you?
I do. So, is it just me? Or is our society devolved to the place where people find out either what party you're from, that you belong to, or who you voted for in the last presidential election, or where you stand on marijuana legalization, and they pigeonhole you?
Yeah, you stand this way on one issue, so they're going to wrap you up in a box and put you with Donald Trump.
And
Or Hillary Clinton.
then they're going to argue at you like those are your beliefs. That's the part that frustrates the hoo-hooey out of
You're
me.
like, hold on a second, why are you yelling at me for things I don't even believe? What the fuck is wrong with
Like,
you?
yeah, they're like, yeah, you know. And you know, it is not allowed to da-da-da-da-da. And you go, yeah, you're right, it's not. And they go, wait a second. But didn't you say... Wait a second. Didn't you say that you believed it was this way? Well, that time I did. I changed my mind. Shut
It's
up.
allowed once in a while.
Right. So, that's a mess now.
Everybody's a mess.
And then Odie's been back to his ravishing self. He let rip Oliver Mitchell's sock.
That's thrilling.
He did too. It was like his food, like brought it up. Oliver Mitchell's sock.
Poor babe, he doesn't feel good. He was alone for a long time today while we dealt with Opete
Yeah.
and things.
Opete and friends. And I don't mean Opete's friends. I mean our friends.
Hopefully we don't have to deal with any of Opete's friends. Ever.
Yeah. That was we got off target. I told Mitchell the joke that his mom had asked us to open that screen, and I said, yeah, but what if Pete calls in all his possum buddies and they have like a 7-man possum party in the living room, and here his mom will come in and there'll be 7 possums having a party on her couch.
I have a better question. What if Pete is actually Polly, and she goes out and she gets her 7 pea babies?
Yeah. Well, like Deborah's story.
Yeah.
It was a family of possums, a mom, a dad, and some kids.
Yeah.
That could be this too. And who knows how long they might have been living there, like in the garage.
Who knows how long they might have been living in the actual undercouch?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it very well could have been the, I don't know, screaming and carrying on that scared them enough to want to escape the house.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
That's very logical. But here's the funny thing. Like, I always say, what is it I always say that involves Google? What's my saying? Google is what?
The answer machine?
Google is your...
Pope?
Oh. You really do need Google to find out what I say about Google, don't you? Google
I don't need your
is
friend.
your friend. But see, in this case, Google wasn't my friend because, like, I looked up California space. How to get a possum to leave my house. Enter. Every bleeping article was about how when you live in California, they have possums, so here are the 5 best ways to make sure that possums don't come into your house. Not a single one talked about what to do when the possum was already in your house.
Do you want to know what that tells me? Google should have been used sooner. Before the possum got in.
Yeah.
Poor O'Pete. Everybody hates O'Pete because he's ugly.
Well, when you think about it...
And he wasn't welcome.
But when you think of... Well, they're kind of nasty. When you think about it... I'll tell you another possum story in a second. When you think about it, you're probably right. It got scared to death by the screaming. Like, Mama probably came in there at some point while she was pregnant and gave birth inside there somewhere.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe Mama gave birth out in that backyard thing. And then when it got super duper hot, moved the babies inside where it was cooler.
You never know.
You don't know what could have happened. You know, there's so many things that could have happened. But the fact of the matter is that it's there. Well, okay, here's a funny story. So, years back, we lived in this house in Cyprus. And it was like at the back of like a cul-de-sac kind of neighborhood. When I say a cul-de-sac neighborhood, I don't mean it was like one single road that ended in a cul-de-sac. But what it was you'd come in on a single road, and there would be these branches that would come off. Like that road would be the trunk, and there'd be these branches, right? You understand what I'm saying? And the branches, though, would just end. They would just dead end. So there was only one way in and one way out. You had to go in the trunk, out the trunk. Well, it kept crime more to a minimum because it was a risk to do anything there, because if someone saw you...
It's only one way out. The one way in.
Exactly. Easy for the cops to catch you. Okay. Well, back where we were was all the way towards the back side, like maybe 7 houses from the dead end.
Okay.
And then there was like a railroad track that went across into a nature park.
Okay.
Okay. So one night, we're asleep, and we had been reading in the paper that there had been some nighttime burglaries in the next neighbor over. And I'm asleep, she's asleep, then all of a sudden she hears scratch, 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 scratch at the screen. And so she's like, Mike, I think there's someone trying to get in the house. And I hear scratch, 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 scratch. And I'm like, what the hell? And so I had a baseball bat that was near the side of the bed. I grabbed it, and I started to go towards the window. And all of a sudden, I'm like, Jesus Christ, that is the biggest rat I have ever seen.
Wasn't a rat.
And I get closer to it.
It was O'Pete.
I get closer to it. I'm like, what the hell is it? So I go outside, and she's like, be careful, be careful. And I've got the baseball bat, and I've got a flashlight, right? And I'm walking up to it, and I'm walking up to it, and I can see it hanging on the screen from my bedroom door, and I go, wow, and I put the light on it. Holy shit. Scared the hell out of the possum, and it was a possum. It fell off the screen, landed straight down into the bushes, and laid there.
It played dead.
It was like, you killed me with the light. It was funny. You killed me with the light. It just laid there, right? And then as soon as I took the flashlight off of it, I could hear the bushes rustle. You look, gone. Possum just took off. He was like, I'm going to play dead until I don't have to play dead anymore. Then I'm out of here.
Pretty much.
It was crazy, though. And it looked like, first of all, it was an ugly bleeper. It was ugly.
Possums are really ugly, but they're really, really passive. They essentially just, like, roam about and eat bugs. And scavenge for, like, leftover cat food.
Yeah, and dog food.
And dog food. Like, they aren't aggressive. The only reason I was worried about the guinea pigs at their mom's house was because the guinea pigs have food.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't want the possum to get aggressive over food with something that's smaller than it.
Well, right. And guinea pigs are even more passive than The possum would be.
On the scale of the food chain, the guinea pigs are lower.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But, interesting possum stories. Maybe we'll have some more. Maybe we won't. Maybe we care.
They don't have
Maybe we don't.
They don't have possums where I'm from in Canada. They have pack rats. They're kind of the same thing.
No, those are people who, like, keep too much stuff.
No, they're actual animals.
No, they're people who keep too much stuff.
Don't be a fascist.
I'll Google it if you want. What did you call it? A pack rat? Anyway.
They have
You're trying to show
rats?
me what a pack rat is?
They have pack rats.
It's kind of ugly.
And they essentially, like, I don't know, like, eat stuff and make hordes of stuff, and that's probably why people are called pack rats when they hoard stuff. But, like, my dad had one living in the roof of his shed. And so his shed was probably the same size as our living room.
Mm-hmm.
It had a peaked roof.
Yep.
And he had plywood over it, you know, to keep warm in and cold out. The pack rat filled the entire peaked part
Whoa.
with stuff. The whole thing. Made the ceiling collapse. All that good stuff.
That's where the term pack rat came from.
Yeah.
Do you know that when you Google the term pack rat and you look at images that, I don't know, like the first 1,000 are just rat-looking creatures, or they're cartoons of rat-looking creatures, or there's the occasional book cover, How to Know You're a Pack Rat. But, there might be 2 images out of the first 1,000 that are not some form of this ugly-looking animal. And as you go, it's pretty much just this animal the whole time. That's crazy because...
It's an animal you didn't know existed?
Yeah, you think it's a pack rat, like, I got too much shit, pack rat. And yes, that's in here. The too much shit pack rat is in here. But not even close to the number of times this funky-looking animal is in here.
Yeah.
And then he had a guy
So they hoard
who had shot one, and he was holding it by the tail. It was almost as tall as him.
Yeah, they're big. Not that. No, they're not all that big. That's kind of a weird one, but...
Oh my gosh. I was like, why would I ever want to deal with something that looks like that? That is gross and disgusting. But yeah, now I'm down to points where there's like, look at that. The first product. You're going to get a free commercial here, guys, just because you're the first product that I can see on here. I like it. It's called the Pack Rat Organizer. Tactical Organizers. Spec.ops Tactical Gear. Let's see where this site actually is. What do you say? Guys? Visit. Go in there. Oh, yeah, here it is. It's at specopsbrand.com. S as in Sam, P as in Paul, E as in Edward, C-O, P as in Paul, S, B as in Brian, R, A, N-D.com. Cool bags. You guys get a freebie because, their bag is
Do you want to know what's extra surprising that why you don't know about pack rats? Because they have them here.
I don't like to hear that. I never want to meet one.
They like
not even in a zoo. They are ugly and disgusting and
live
gross.
in the desert areas.
I would meet a possum.
And they're actually called wood rats here. But they're the same species.
The wood rat can stay the heck away. Odie, your job, keep the wood rat out.
You keep the ratos out.
Yogi, your job is to eat the wood rat. Thank you. Woman, your job is to say goodnight.
Good night, everyone.
Hasta la bye-bye.
Hi, everyone. This is Mike, and I truly hope you enjoyed this show. You're able to subscribe to this show on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher so as to never miss an episode. If, by chance, you did miss an episode here or there, you can catch up on all shows, past and present, by heading over to yogispodcastnetwork.com/TNR show. Thanks for listening.